What's up guys, it's your boy Hanter here, back again with yet another tutorial. Now previously we spoke about learning materials, and now today we are in Blender. We are going to start learning something about materials and do our first step in materializing and texturing our objects.
Easy go.
Now I'm in Blender. This is our normal viewport. I'm going to head over to the shading part. We are going to start at the shading part only for today, and the next time we shall do something else like texture painting. Now, what do we do in shading part? We have this section, the viewport, the 3D viewport, whereby we see our cube, and then we have this section which has some things like prepared BSDF and so on, slots, material, what's there. Like, I know they're a bit confusing, but you'll go on just fine. Now, I remember talking about textures, but for this first video, we are not going to be doing the texture part. We are going to be doing the shading part. Now, we have this cube and it's looking white. That's probably because its material is white and is as plain as you see it. Now, these nodes you see down here, these are our material nodes, and now if you look at these nodes, we have something like the base color, which is white, and then the subsurface color, which is also white, subsurface, IRO, metallic, specular, roughness, sheen, all of this, immersiveness, and so on and so on. But we are not going to be talking about all of them. We are going to be talking about just a few of them that we shall be needing throughout our courses. Now, number one we need to always know is always the base color. Now, the base color is what determines the overall color of our object. Like this one is white. If we change the base color to another color by clicking here, and then I come and select red, the cube turns red. If I come to green, it turns green. If I come to blue, it turns blue. I can make it black, something like that. But let's just give it a little bit of this color, and then boom, we have our first material, and that material has been shaded to a blue box. Now I can add in some more remixes like subsurface arrow. Like I want to see that the surface is reddish, something like that. You can see the reflections here turning to reddish or something like that. You can increase the impact on the object. I know it's not very significant, but yeah, we can always play around with that. Let me see if I increase this. Yes, it still affects our cube. Now, if you look at this, this is a material we have just come up with. This cube was white at the beginning. Now, there are other settings you can add on this by holding this middle mouse button and dragging, and you can set things like specular, roughness, metallic. We always need these two. Let me say I want to increase the metallicness of this object. If I drag this up, you can see it turns to a little bit of more dark sort of. Let me try and push that up a little bit to there. Now that will do. Our metallicism is a bit high enough. I'm going to go and maybe increase the specular. I want to make like some sort of a car reflection sheen or something like that. Then I reduce the roughness actually to 0. You can really see that it's like a car body, something like that, some specular part of it. Now, in our background of this shaders mode, we have something like trees or whatever. I know they are very blurry, but it's an HDRI, which is used for showing the reflection lighting on our 3D object, which is a good thing because now we can really see almost how our objects look when they are rendered out. Now, this engine that we are using to see this is not the best of all in showing results, outcome results, but it shows good enough. In Blender, we have two engines that render. We have, if you come here to this little TV here, if I click this, I have Eevee, which is the currently active, and Cycle. Now, Cycle is the best, but it really consumes enough memory. And if I switch on Cycle, I'm going to press this bigger rendering button. If I press this, it's going to try and render out for me the object in its actual look. If you look at this, you could really see the clear renders of Cycles. This is much better than when you look through Eevee. Let's see Eevee, and you see how Eevee is basic, and actually it's really fast. but really basic. But if you go to cycles, it gives you a very clear picture of what you will be needing. And please play around with these render styles. This is how I ended up rendering the other 3D methods that I've been showing you, and I've not covered the whole texturing part, but at least you can go ahead and try and render out. Now, the final step about rendering after texturing your object is you have to come maybe to this tab, but I'm not going to come to this tab. The first rule in rendering in Blender, you must have a camera, which is this. If you press this eye, the camera is right here. If you don't have a camera in your scene, let me say assuming it has been deleted, press Shift A and head down to camera and click camera, and to be spawned in the middle, I'm going to grab it and drag it out like there. Then I'm going to snap into it. Now it's looking off. Usually I have set my navigation mode. I like using this navigation mode, which is this. Come to navigation, view, navigation, and then scroll down to walk navigation, and then I will look at my object, and there it is. And then after this, you can go and head up here where there is the word that says render, and then you render out the image. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Keep creating, stay awesome. That's it about shading textures inside Blender. It's your boy Hunter heading out.